Hey, it's Jake West. Today I decided to do a little bit different video that does not pertain to fireworks. So basically this morning I came across an article of some firefighters in Florida that were trying to rescue some victims that were stuck in a rip current, and they themselves needed rescue, finding that they were stuck in the current as well. So it made me reflect on a situation that I was in about 4 years ago, I guess, when myself, my wife, who was pregnant at the time, and my mother-in-law were vacationing in Destin, I believe. The water was great, no crazy waves or currents, and we were out just enjoying. It was perfect temperature, and we just stayed out there swimming for a long time, just treading water. The waves started to pick up. I don't know if they had a storm coming in, but they started to get more violent, and we decided that we should head on in. Well, the waves got worse. My mother-in-law got some water in her, and ingested some water, trying to deal with the wave and the current situation. And we had been trying to swim back to shore and realized we're not getting any closer. And the sad part about this is, and I get mad at myself all the time, that we had zero flotation because we thought we had it under control. We were just swimming, and the conditions of the water had changed to a point where it kept us out there, and we were very fatigued. The panic kind of set in when we realized we weren't getting close to the shore, and then having someone in our group ingest that salt water. I'm sure if you've ever had that happen, you know how that can add to the panicking situation. So basically I left the group, trying to do my best to get back to shore, swimming like you're not supposed to, straight through the rip current. Now they tell you to swim parallel to the beach at a diagonal until you can get out. That was not going through my mind. I picked the shortest route, which was wrong, because I had on my mind that I had to get to shore as quick as possible to get a pool noodle or something and go back out there and save my family. So I was at the point of exhaustion already when I had made the decision that I need to leave my family to go try to get a flotation device. It was an extremely traumatic experience for me, because my body's telling me you don't have any more gas. You're done. You're gonna drown right here. Your family's gonna drown behind you. And I give thanks to God and my training in the Marine Corps that showed me what a human being's limits could be. When you're absolutely about to shut down, if you just push forward, push through it, your heart, you have more gas to go. And I found that, and I had to bite it, and I just gave it everything to try to get back to shore. The hardest part, as I had made that decision and turned to go get the flotation, my wife said something like, "Where are you going? My mom needs help." That was very hard for me to hear, and I couldn't even respond to that. I just kept swimming as hard as I could to the shore. I didn't have the energy to stop and turn around and say, "Babe, I'll be right back. I'm going to try to get a flotation." You know, there's nothing that you could do without flotation anyway. I was a lifeguard many years ago, and one of the things they teach you, if you can't rescue yourself, how are you going to rescue someone else? When you swim up to a drowning victim, they're instinctively going to use you as a flotation device and push you underwater. So one of the techniques they teach you is to swim below to get to where they let you go, because they don't want to go underwater, and then you can come up and try a different approach with the flotation to rescue. Well, when you have flotation, again, you don't have that option. So my option was to swim as hard as I could to go get something to help us, because I can barely even help myself at this point. I feel like I'm about to drown. So the hardest part, like I said, for me, obviously the physical exertion and fatigue, but mentally it was hurting me that I felt like my pregnant wife was thinking, my husband is a coward. He's leaving me right now. He's not, he's saving himself. That was going through my head. At the same time, what else was going through my head was, if I turned around and looked back, which I don't even have the energy to do. I never turned around and looked back. That's how hard I was fighting. When I get to a point to shore or whatever, if I make it, when I do look back, am I going to see my beautiful wife and unborn child with our unborn daughter and my mother-in-law's head above water? Or am I going to turn around to just see ocean? Would it be too late? So that was wearing on me. Well, I finally made it, by the grace of God, to shore and got a pool noodle. And my legs are noodles, and I'm running back out there to try to get close to them as possible to get this noodle to them. And, we lived happily ever after. We made it, of course. But I was shook up the rest of the vacation, because I just kept playing those thoughts in my head and what possibly could the outcome have been. So that was a very intense situation for me to deal with. So basically, I just wanted to share that story with you guys. I've been a professional firefighter and EMT for 10 years now. I've seen a lot, and nothing has shaken me up like that moment. So when I saw that article, I felt like, okay, us in Louisiana, everybody here probably vacations at one point in time to the Gulf of Mexico, Pensacola, Gulf Shores, Destin, wherever you might go. So I wanted to share that reality with whoever is listening, and give some techniques that I've learned in one of my Marine Corps schools, Aircrew Candidate School in Pensacola. It was a requirement school that I had to pass to be a helicopter crew chief in the Marine Corps. Basically taught you survival skills if the helicopter was to crash out in the ocean. Techniques that you could use to stay alive in time for the rescuers to get to you. So I feel like some of that knowledge could be useful, in many situations. If your car wrecks off the causeway, just some food for thought. If you're out in the ocean, just some tools in the toolbox. I'm going to pull some of this footage from an old YouTube video that I made titled Aircrew Candidate School. It's not a really good quality. This was back when the GoPros were new and my program wasn't that great. So I apologize for the quality of the footage, but let's take a look at it and go over some of those techniques that I learned. The most beneficial technique learned in this situation is called the dead float. Now, this would have helped if my wife and my mother-in-law knew this technique, for them to conserve energy and not drown. Basically, it's a technique used to survive in the open water for a long period of time. And if you read into the article that originally had me thinking about making this video with the firefighters, I believe it was a large rescue effort that took 20 minutes, so What if you were that one out there and you didn't have a flotation device or a boogie board or something to hang on to, and you couldn't tread water anymore? You didn't even have the energy to swim parallel or whatever it may be, and you're just out there waiting for a jet ski or a helicopter or who knows what to come get you because you can't do it. You can't tread, can't float. So that's what this technique is for. It's called the dead man's float. So basically, you want to just try to relax and stay calm with your arms and legs, getting a couple of good strokes in, getting that deep, full breath, and then relaxing and just hanging in suspension in the water. Now that gives your muscles a chance to relax. You just sing a song in your head or something. Keep your mind occupied. They actually, which was very helpful in this training, they had a stereo system underwater. So we were actually listening to music that was just as clear as you would hear it in your car. Really cool underwater. So that helped mentally. Now, you're not going to have that in the real world. So sing a tune to yourself or whatever you have to do and to have hope and faith, okay? So when you need to come up for another breath, get a couple of good strokes in, take a breath, hold it, and then just suspend in water. You can do that for a really long time. If you stay calm, you keep the pattern going and you pace, and you just relax everything in your body while you're suspended. So that would have been very helpful for anybody, I believe, that would be stuck in a current that is physically exhausted and that cannot tread or swim anymore. So the next one I would like to share. So basically, if you have a pair of long pants on, some trousers, you can take those off, stay calm, go underwater if you have to, take them off underwater, and you tie the feet together in a like a square knot, just like in the video here. You can open up the trousers and catch air and sling it under the water and close the waist tight to where the air stays trapped in, and then you slip your head in between the legs, the tied knot, so it forms a flotation. Now, splashing water on some blue jeans or on some trousers helps lock the air in. So we're splashing the water on the outside of it. If the air is coming out, frequently you can do one of several things. You can scoop water, which will create bubbles from the surface and basically rise back up into the pants. Or you can hold it open and swim underneath it. Take a deep breath before you go underwater, and then exhale your water into the trousers. So you could do this for a long period of time as well. If you don't have trousers or a flotation, obviously you're going to have to resort to something else. Find something to hang on to, or do the float method. So I guess that's all I have to share about that situation. I feel like it's some good training tools that I've acquired in the past years, and definitely would have helped my family out some more had they have had access to that knowledge. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for sticking around. Y'all be safe.